Hello.
What's up, bro? We're freaking live. We get right into it. Can I just have you do a quick sound check with those headphones next to you?
Wait.
See how you're standing right here, right here.
I got you.
See how you're sounding.
You can tell I don't have this equipment.
Bro, you're good. All good, man. All right, how you sounding?
No, I hear it.
You sound great?
Oh, yeah.
Adam Hmada.
Yes, sir.
So is the H silent?
No. It's Hmada. Like, I think my parents were just immigrants, so they didn't know how to spell it. You know what I mean?
Oh, they had a chance to respell it?
No. Because everybody thinks it's spelled Hamada, but it's Hmada. So it's actually my first name backwards with an H at the beginning.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. I've had people correct me where they're like, no, it's Hamada.
So where are you from initially? Start from the beginning.
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, but my parents are from Algeria, Egypt. My mom Algerian, my dad Egyptian.
Where in Brooklyn?
Bay Ridge. So it's like South Brooklyn.
And you went to high school there?
Yeah. I went to Fort Hamilton High School.
And then did you go to college around there?
I went to Stony Brook for like 2 years, transferred, and then went to Fordham.
I played on the tennis team at UConn, and we played Stony Brook a few times in tennis. Right? And my boy went to Stony Brook Medical School.
Were they good at tennis?
They were actually solid. Yeah, they had like a lot of European guys. Really? So anytime you really have like an opportunity to have tennis scholarships, like a lot of schools don't have scholarships because of Title IX. Mm-hmm. So like, if a school does actually have tennis scholarships, then they usually are able to get like a few good players if they like split it up, give somebody like a half scholarship and stuff like that. But Stony Brook was always solid. Like they were pretty good sports school in general, no?
Yeah, I mean, we're all right because it's like a public university. So I figured it's like, it wouldn't be too crazy. But we had one kid go to the NBA.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah.
Is it New York Public University? How does that work?
It's a state university. So it's like there's CUNY and there's SUNY. So state universities are like all over New York State, and then CUNYs are like the city universities. So like the ones in New York City.
Right, I should know that. But growing up in Brooklyn, though, did you have to pay a different rate because it wasn't in the city, it was in the state?
Yeah, it's cheaper. It's like, honestly, because you pay, like out-of-state tuition is like, it's like $40K, it's like insane. But if you're in-state, it's a little more affordable. It's like $6,000 a year. It's not. Is that
the reason you like went to Stony Brook for the most part? Because that's the best SUNY school, right? So that Stony Brook and Binghamton, maybe.
Yeah, probably Binghamton or Stony for sure. But yeah, I everywhere else rejected me. That's why. I was like, I wanted to go to Brown. That's where I wanted to go.
Oh damn!
Yeah, fucking my grades were not there.
Also, Brown, that would have been insanely expensive, right? It's looking at like $70K a year.
That's the thing. I was just like, because you're like 18, you don't know what the fuck you want to do, so you're just like,
it's crazy that at 18 we're only allowed to take out loans for a 4-year college program and not allowed to take out a business loan. But then again, you could take out a $250,000 college loan and the government doesn't care.
And you can't file bankruptcy on the student loans. So you got like, no matter, even if you file bankruptcy, like the student loans stay. So you still got to pay that shit back.
I also would imagine that many people would be doing that for like time over time, just to like try and get rid of those student loans. Because some people really don't even, or most people don't pay it back until like they're 45 or 50 years old.
I'm not paying that
crazy
shit back.
Like that.
I'm not paying it.
Is it possible that it's going to get removed? What's the deal with this?
I'm hoping one of the presidents comes through, he just wipes that shit out. But regardless, I'm not paying. I'm not fucking.
Good for you, man. Also, like, how can we be made to make a decision like that at 18 years old? Like, oh, I really want, if you were to have gone to Brown, like you would have been, now you'd be like, all right, I went to Brown, but like you'd be $120,000 extra probably in debt, $30,000 a year on top of that. Because
my debt wasn't too crazy, but I fucked up my last semester of college because you're supposed to apply for like FAFSA like every school year, right?
What's that?
That's financial aid.
Okay.
So I applied for like 2020 to 2021, and I had to do an extra semester. So I was like 4.5 years to finish college, but my last semester was in 2021. So I was like, oh, I don't have to apply for 2021 to 2022. Oh yeah. So I'm good. And then I realized I had to, so they charged me like full price for the last semester, and I had no idea.
Why'd you take an extra semester?
Because I transferred, so a lot of my credits didn't roll over.
Oh,
so
where'd you transfer from?
I went from Stony Brook to Fordham. So Stony Brook was where I started, and then Fordham is where I finished.
Is there a reason why you transferred though that late in the game?
Yeah, because I started stand up when I was at Stony Brook, and then I wanted to, because I'm from the city, so I was like, I wanted to move back, take it more seriously, because I was commuting from Long Island into the city every day.
That's
and
like
it was
exit 60 or something on the LIE.
No, I would go on the Long Island Railroad. So I remember one day I had a spot at Broadway. I was like, and my spot, I was supposed to get off stage at like 12:15, and the last train back to Stony Brook was like 12:25, and I remember I sprinted and I missed it, so I just stayed in the station till like 4 a.m. waiting for the next train. I just talked to like some homeless dude for
oh
like
my
3
God.
hours.
For those of you who don't know, Adam's referring to Broadway Comedy Club on 53rd and 8th.
Yeah, 53rd.
So you came in and then we're just at the station for like the next 4 hours just chilling.
Yeah, I just talked to some homeless dude for like 3 hours. It was actually a very enlightening conversation, but you know.
But then again, the Fordham from all these other spots are like, I mean, it's definitely closer than Stony Brook, but it's not that much closer, right?
No, Fordham, because they have 2 campuses, one in the city, like in Midtown Manhattan.
Oh, is that the one on Columbus Avenue?
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
Dude, I went to high school on that block, Professional Children's School.
Oh,
you know
shit.
it says PCS Way?
Oh, you're from New York?
That's the school I went to. Yeah, bro, from Manhattan, man.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude. Yeah, oh, that's crazy.
Dude, I think the hat behind you fell. 1 second, we got to pull that out. But yeah,
okay. We got to get that in the shot.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying, bro. Okay, so yeah, I grew up in Manhattan. I went to middle school at Friends Seminary. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
No.
On like 16th Street, close to the Stand, actually.
Oh, wait.
And then I went to high school, Professional Children's School. I was a tennis player, so I went there to like, if I needed to leave on a Thursday, go to Florida for a national tournament, they'd send me the homework.
Oh, so you were like
take a
pro
test on Monday.
tennis.
Bro, I wanted to be pro, but
not
like.
You kind of look like Nadal too.
Really?
So yeah, you got like a Nadal
I've never
vibe.
heard
You know what I mean? Like,
love that. And dude, we got the freaking credentials over here. I've popped them up. So these are like U.S. Open credentials when I was player, guest, I was hitting partner. Bro, I was freaking serious, man.
So you were one of those kids that grab like the balls, like
no. That was like a ball boy situation. Those are people who like worked at the U.S. Open. I was like a hitting partner. Like I would hit with those guys and stuff like that. But like 9th grade, I was homeschooled for tennis just to travel. And like I had a private tutor.
Oh, shit.
So when I was like 14 years old, I really wanted to go pro. But then by the time like I was 16 and 17 years old, in tennis, you kind of really have to know that you're going to make it when you're that age. Just because like tennis is such a young sport. Like by the time you're 19 or 20 years old, you got to be on tour, training and everything.
Yeah.
So 14 years old, I thought I was going to go pro. 15, 16 years old, realized that I want to go to school, play college tennis. So I went to Professional Children's School, which is where you went to college, which is hilarious.
So you can't play pro if you like go to college, like and do tennis?
Yeah, it's not like
basketball.
No, like right now, you know, like the rules are kind of changing with the basketball and football, but it hasn't even gotten to tennis yet.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And like the school that I played for, we had scholarships, but it was just for like academics because of Title IX, like all the female sports teams at
what is
the
Title
school.
IX?
So Title IX, basically, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I'll put the freaking definition right here, but I think it was like 1975, they made an article, the NCAA said that from 1975, like going forward, it was like 55 or 60 years, so it should end pretty soon. But all the women's scholarships weren't taken as seriously as the men, so the men had way more scholarships to give out for football, basketball, all these sports. So that women on athletic teams back in the 70s didn't have any scholarships because they were all given to the men because they felt that the men would have more audience come in based on the scholarship. So like now. It's even, and it's even from the time before. So women have way more scholarships. So like at a place like UConn, the men's football and basketball team is stacked with scholarships. Our soccer team has a few. Our baseball team has a few. Like they're still good. They're like top 25 in the country. But the women's basketball team had so many scholarships. Women's softball, women's lacrosse, women's field hockey. Rowing. So they would just have these sports that were just stacked with scholarships. And the tennis team at UConn, unfortunately, didn't have any athletic scholarships.
Oh, shit.
So we had to like split a few academic wise.
Oh, wait.
So it's like the same thing at a school like Brown, being in an Ivy League, you only have you only have academic scholarships, not athletic scholarships. So scholarships are very hard to come by, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah. So Title IX it's like academic scholarships too?
No.
It's not just
sports.
Just for sports?
Sports.
Oh, word.
Yeah, man. So you graduated pretty recently. You're young, no? 22?
Yeah, I'm 22 right now. I just graduated like a couple months ago. Yeah.
And you're living in Astoria by yourself?
Yeah. I've been living on my own for a while.
How's that been, man?
It's cool. You know what I mean? It's like, it's nice to have that freedom, but I wish I had somebody to cook for me. You know what I mean? It's like,
me too. Literally, dude, that's so funny. As you mentioned this, I have Instacart being delivered. Hopefully by the end of this episode, you guys won't hear it. But just like, it's just super quick. And I'm more of a preparer than a cooker,
Because like I'll come home like, especially because you do stand up, you come home so late and then nothing's open.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I got to buy like a cold sandwich from a supermarket. I'm like, man, this fucking sucks, dude. I'm like, I got to learn how to cook. You know what I mean? Like,
do you live near that park in Astoria, near Astoria Park?
Yeah, actually, I haven't been, but it's like a.
You know what I'm talking about? The track there. Or is that on the other side?
Maybe. I haven't been to Astoria.
I used to run on that track like 3 days a week when I was homeschooled. I'd go out to Astoria, train with some like marathon runner guy. So I know that park pretty well just from like being outside there a ton.
Oh, right. So what part of Manhattan are you from?
I'm from like Gramercy Park for the most part. I grew up on 18th between 2nd and 3rd. Went to lower school and middle school on like 16th between 2nd and 3rd, like right by the stand. So I've been in New York besides UConn like my whole life, man.
Damn. Yeah, it's few
great, man.
You don't meet a lot of New Yorkers,
for real.
native New Yorkers.
So you grew up in Brooklyn and now I guess you're in Queens, no?
Yeah, I'm moving back to Brooklyn. Because I thought I'd like Astoria more than I did, but it's like I'm kind of an idiot. Like when I was moving, I didn't look at the area that I was in, and then it turns out like I'm right next to the projects, so I'm like I fucked up. You know what I mean?
Is it also like far traveling distance?
Yeah, it's not the commute is not bad. It's just the area is not the best. Like I remember I was coming home one night and I was gonna stop by like the bodega. And I see like this dude getting into like an altercation because you know like late at night they'll have like the bodega, like they'll lock the doors but they'll have like the window service. That's how you know you're in the hood.
Dude, I was like, I don't know if I've seen that.
That's how you know you're in the hood because then they lock the doors. They're like whoever's coming in at 2 in the morning is
the plastic glass though in front.
No, what they'll do is like
you know
it's
what I
like
mean?
they'll have like a window for like service and then it's just kind of like so if you put your card in or like your money and then they'll like twist it and then like put like whatever shit you're buying. And I see some guy, he's like yelling at the Ock or whatever, and then I just see him like pointing a gun into like the service window. I was like, I'm going home. I was like, I'm good. I was like, I'm not hungry. You know what I mean? I'll eat sleep tonight. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck that.
What is the actual definition of Ock? I know Ockies is like immigrant corner or something like that.
I mean, yeah, Ock is like what you call like the bodega, like whoever like works. But in Arabic, it means like Akhi, it means like brother. So it's like I don't know.
Okay. So you're Arabic?
Yeah, I'm Arab, North African.
So being in Egypt and Algeria, is that the language that they speak?
Yeah, Arabic.
When's the last time you went there?
I've never been to Egypt, but Algeria I would go a lot as a kid. I haven't been in like many years, but I would go a lot like when I was younger. Yeah.
Nice, man. So before the pandemic, I mean, you were still in college, right? Yeah. Where were you at this time? You were at Stony Brook or Fordham? Fordham. So I was ever since like, cause I've been doing comedy for like 3.5 years. So I was probably doing stand up for like 6 months while I was in Stony Brook. And then the rest of the time I was in the city. Was the first mic you did in Stony Brook?
No, it was, I knew I wanted to do it for like a while. And, I don't know. It's just because it doesn't seem feasible. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when you watch like an hour special, you just see like a pro comic like murdering for an hour. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't like, there's no frame of reference. But then I started watching a lot more stand up and, you know what it was? It was crazy. I remember I told my like suite mates, it was like my freshman year. Like when I first got to college, I told my roommate, I was like, I'm thinking about doing stand up. And he was like, he's like, you're not funny. He was like, I remember he told that to me. And I was like, are you serious? Cause I was like ready to start. Like I was like gonna sign up for a mic, just do it. And then he was like, yeah, you're not that funny. And then I was like, for real? And then he calls in my suite mate and he was like, yeah, he's like, you're not like, he's like, yeah, you're just not like, you know, he's like, you got like funny moments.
Dude.
And then I didn't start for like another 6 months because of that.
It's crazy how sometimes your friends can get in your fucking head.
Yeah, I know, man.
I hope if that is
Sharon,
still your boy.
Fuck you.
Yeah, if it is still your boy, he better bite his freaking tongue.
No, I still hang out with him. But yeah, I was like, I'll never forget that. I didn't have anything like against him for saying, but what happened was when I did start stand up, like I didn't tell anybody. For like the first, like, I was like, until like I start getting decent, I was like, I'm not telling nobody. So I didn't tell like, it was with the exception of like my sisters and like 1 or 2 friends, nobody knew.
Do you remember the first place you did it?
Yeah, it was Climate. It was,
nice. And did you do like 5 minutes there?
Yeah, I remember it was the first and last time I did Laughing Buddha. I was like, man, this fucking sucks, dude.
How much time between your first stand-up set at Laughing Buddha and your second open mic?
Oh, it was like immediate. I was,
wow.
Because what happened was my boy, it was like he was the one who told, like, I had a friend from, like, he lives in Astoria actually. I mean, he's in Egypt right now, but he told me, he was like, he would always tell me like, you should try stand up. He was like, you should do it. And when I started getting like, he told me to do it before I was even like really considering it. When I was like 17, and then once I was like, I'm ready to do it, I told him. And then it was like the middle of the semester at this point, and he was like, you should do it. And I was like, you know, midterms coming up. I was like, I don't want to, like, I was like, I got school or whatever. And he was like, I'll tell you what, he's like, if you come into the city, I'll take you to the mic. And then he's like, I'll drive you back to Stony Brook. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. So at that point I'd been writing like every day. I'd been writing for like a couple months, like just jokes and like ideas I had. So I came into the city. I had like a 5 worked out. Like I was like, this is what I'm going to talk about. I remember I practiced it in front of like the mirror, and then I did the mic, and then he drove me back. I remember I was so like cocky for no reason at that first mic. Like I remember because I saw it was like it's an open mic, so everybody's bombing. But me seeing them bomb, I was like, oh, this shit's easy. I was like, if they're bombing, I was like, I could do better than that. And I remember I like. They called my name and I like patted my chest like this, and then I just went up and ate shit for like 5 minutes. Just fucking like ate
Dude, but
shit.
That confidence though, the first open mic, that's impressive to have that confidence, bro.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. I was never like I was never like a very like, you know, like confident, like popular dude. So but for some reason, I was just like, oh, I got this. I was like, this is in the bag.
But at some point, did you not have butterflies before that confidence moment, like right in the room? Like, were you nervous initially about starting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even though I was confident, I was still a little like, oh shit, you know, I'm still gonna perform and like do this. I've never done this before in my life. But yeah, I mean, you still get butterflies. Like they're not as like severe, you know. It's like the more you do it, the more you get over it.
Totally. But after that first one, you got the bug immediately.
Yeah, even though I ate shit, I was like, I know I want to do this. I was like, well, I think the advantage that we have like coming up in this like generation is like we like the access to like, you know, shit like podcasts and like you know, you can watch comics and you could like watch as much stand up as you want, so you kind of know what to expect when you're going into it. Like you don't know what's gonna happen, but you have an idea of what it is. So it's like I heard Bill Burr on podcasts be like, yeah, I remember eating shit at like shows and shit. So it kind of like it's like, oh, it's okay if you bomb. It's like I kind of knew going in, it's like you're gonna bomb a lot. Because it was like I'd hear podcasts about comedians talking about like, oh, I ate shit, like these like horrible bombing stories. So I was like, this is a part of it. So it's like it hurts to bomb, but it was also like I know this is like a necessary like part of growing in stand up.
What was the first show you did, if you remember?
I do remember. It was terrible. It was fucking trash. It was
So first open mic was not great. Second one was good.
Second one. You know, it's crazy. I was at Stand Up New York, and the confidence that I had that first set, not there. It was non-existent, not there at all. I remember I turned to the guy next to me. I was like, "Are you nervous?" And he was like, "Dude, what?" He was like, "What the fuck?" I love that. It was like 8 comics. It was like a light mic. He was like, "Nah, it's not like NBC.
Dude, are you nervous?
People are here." And then I ate shit on that one too. I remember. Yeah.
The third show.
But the first show I did.
Third time, was that the first show, or you did a number of open mics?
I did mics before I did shows. Because you start here, it's like, dude, there's no like, you could be a killer not getting shows. You know what I mean? It's totally, like bro. So. But I remember the first show I did was some lady saw me at like a Broadway open mic. I was like 3 months in, and she was like, she's like, I run this show, and she didn't tell me it was a bringer. And it was like a bunch of, because it was some bar show. Because it wasn't like at a club. It wasn't like, oh, it's at Broadway or anything. It was
a bringer produced show?
It was a bringer produced show for some reason. Yeah. And then she she's
trying to get the bag, it sounds like.
Yeah. But she didn't tell me. And then I pull up, and the crowd, dude, all the comics on the lineup are like, I was the youngest one by like 50 years. Like these motherfuckers were old. Like one of them needed help getting on stage. I remember she had an audience member like help her get up on stage. She had like a cane. I don't remember her name. I don't remember. I've never seen any of those comics before in my life, and I haven't seen them since.
But she didn't want you to bring people. She just had the other comics.
No. She did. So when I got there, I remember she was like, "Are your people coming?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "You're supposed to bring a couple people." I was like, "What?" I was like, "You didn't tell me that."
Did you even know that was a thing first? Or I'm sure you did.
I heard of bringers. Yeah, I'd heard of bringers, but I was like, I'm not. I was like, "You didn't tell me that." So I was like, and then she was like, all right. She was like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I'm here. So I was like, I'm going to go up. She's like, all right, I'm only going to give you like 3 minutes. So I like blew the light. I did like 5 or 6, and I actually did pretty well. It wasn't like, I didn't have a bad set. Like it wasn't like great, but for like how long I'd been doing it, it was decent. You know what I mean? And, but it was just, I remember the crowd was also old too. It was like the lineup was like, they were all like in their 90s.
Stand Up New York?
No. It was just some random like bar, Lower Manhattan. Yeah. I remember I was like, damn, this sucks. I was like, this shit is
So
brutal.
What's been your best memory so far in comedy?
Best in comedy? It was probably once during the pandemic, I performed in front of Louis. It was crazy.
During the pandemic, where was this? Talk about it.
It was in Washington Square Park. It was, you know, Ryan O'Toole?
I know the name.
He's a comic from Boston, but he was my old roommate, and he was running a mic because in the beginning of the pandemic there was no comedy going on, so he got a speaker and like he started running like a daily mic in Washington Square Park. And one day Lynn Koplitz, she's Louis' opener, she like walked by the park while we were doing it, and she like sat down, watched everybody's set, gave us her email, and then we kind of like forgot about it, and then like a couple weeks later she like emails one of the comics like who was there at the mic, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna be coming to the mic tomorrow and I'm gonna bring Louis. And that comic told Ryan, who was running the mic, and then he didn't tell any of us. So Louis pulls up, but he has like a baseball cap, like glasses, and a mask, so you couldn't tell who it was him. And he just sits down with Lynn, and everybody goes up, does their sets, and we all just go up and perform. Like we knew Lynn was coming, but we didn't know who this guy she brought with was. I think one or two people might have figured it out because they were just staring at her, but I was just like, I didn't pay it any mind. So I just go up and do my set, and then at the end, he kind of like because Ryan knew it was him, and like he was talking to him, and he like calls me over, and he's like, I was sick, come, and then he starts talking to all of us as like a group, and then I was kind of like, I was like, I recognized the voice. And then I was like, no fucking way. And then I was like, I remember my jaw dropped. I was like, holy fuck, that's Louis. I was like, I just did a fucking open mic in front of Louis in the park. And he was just like, I remember I couldn't even remember what he was saying because I was just in shock. I was like, holy, this is the wildest thing. I was like, I just did a mic in front of him in a park. You know what I mean?
Did he do any time?
No, hell no.
I thought he like it was going to come through, do the open mic in the park.
No.
So what was the pandemic like for you? I mean, you did this open mic, but like a lot of other comics have talked about how they were doing Zoom shows, stopped from stand-up comedy, went home. What did your kind of life look like when you were at Fordham and then this whole wave of uncertainty hit?
I mean, dude, the pandemic was great. I loved it. You know, I had mad fun. I try not to say that too much because people are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But like, dude, it was.
Yeah, people are like, people died.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
great
like,
for a lot of people's careers.
You know what I mean? No, because we were getting like, I mean, the checks were great. Like, because like the unemployment money that I was getting was way more than what I was making working. And then, so I had mad free time. And then when the outdoor shit started popping up, I was like, the alternative is just staying home and doing nothing. I was like, I'm young and I'm living on my own. So I was like, I'm not like putting anybody at risk. So I was like, it would like, I was like, I'm fine, like catching COVID. At that point I heard he'd gotten COVID. So I was like, I'm fine, whatever. I was like, I'll just do the park shit. So I like did as much of it as possible. I really loved it. Honestly, I love the outdoor stuff.
How often were you booked on stuff like that?
Like the outdoor shit?
Yeah, I guess like prime COVID, like if you have a month that you kind of remember where you were booked a lot and you were like, whoa, what the shit is going on? This is like COVID's not even happening.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the amount of like stand up happening during COVID, people underestimated. Like in New York, you could get up like still like 3 times in like a night.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like you could get up on Mike's shows. It was like, there was mad shit happening. Like comics really like hustled to make shit happen. It was a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I think like everybody who really took advantage of that outdoor park shit really grew. Cause it was just like, you know, you were getting up, but you were getting up in like the worst conditions possible. And that just like builds like a muscle in you that you're not going to otherwise get doing like regular sets at like clubs. Cause everything is primed for stand up. So here you're like working against the elements, and then it's just, so you're just so much sharper. You're a lot wittier. You're like quicker on your feet. So it's like, I remember like, I even heard Burr say it when he was on like Conan. He was like doing all this like outdoor like park shows and like rooftop shit. He was like coming back into the clubs. He was like, it just felt easier because he was like, I built like this hell room muscle that I had lost because I was doing like theaters and like, you know, sold out shows all the time.
Do you ever do Zoom stuff during the pandemic?
I did it like once or twice, but I was like, this is not. I'm like performing into a computer. You know what I mean?
Corporate
like,
stuff that you did, or just
no. Just like whatever. Like I remember I did like one Purdue show, and then I did like a workshop mic with like a couple of my like comic friends. But then I was like, this shit sucks.
You ever do the Village Idiot comedy show?
Yeah,
with those guys, Andrew and Isaac. So like, I think when you talk about being out of your element, I think one thing that you can kind of compare outdoor comedy shows and not really having a fully focused audience is kind of like the Village Idiot. I mean, we've talked about this many times on the podcast, but this is a comedy show that is at a bar. People are drinking 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. Maybe half the room is paying attention, half the room is not. So I'd say like that is kind of like a perfect example of like a place where you get uncomfortable. And in comedy, it really feels like all you do is just try and get more uncomfortable more uncomfortable until you are comfortable. Like, for example, like doing the man on the street stuff. Like initially I was so freaking nervous about doing it until like I started to get into a groove of like, okay, ask the same question. Oh, a girl over there is watching me. Okay, go to her. She wants to be interviewed, stuff like that. So also like comedy and talking, I think really helps. The more you talk to people, the more you talk to yourself in the mirror, as you were mentioning, I think the more comfortable you get.
Absolutely. And it's like you push yourself out of your comfort zone a lot of the times in stand-up. I mean, Village Idiot, dude, that show is like, I've seen some like killers eat shit.
Oh yeah, you have?
On that show. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like, because like you said, it's like half the bar is like actually paying attention because they're in that like little showroom area. And the rest is just like mid blackout, you know what I mean? So they're like just screaming, you know, it's like white girls like dancing and shit. So like,
so how comfortable are you on stage right now in terms of length of a set? If someone was like, all right, Adam, go up there, do as much time as you want. How much time do you think you'd be comfortable up there doing?
I could hold it down for a minute. I mean, like I work LOL a lot. It's like a club in Midtown,
Times Square.
And yeah, and
love that big tourist club, right?
Yeah, very big tourist club. It was like the first club I got past at. One thing that's great about it is it's like it's so disorganized, which sounds like it's bad and good at the same time because like it benefits the comedian a lot of the time. Where it's like you'll have to like stretch shows because they're like they just barked in more people off the street.
Oh, right.
So so they want to stretch. No, it's not even that it's like a free show. It's just like, it's like the guy who runs it is like, he'll be selling tickets in the streets. So it's like they'll want to stretch the shows because it's like, it might be like a light crowd. So they'll want to like dump as many people in there as possible. So they'll have like what would have been like an hour 15 show be like 2 hours, maybe even more. So like you end up being on stage for a lot longer than you'd expect because like sets are like 15 minutes. I remember like there's been multiple times where they just threw me up and then I get off stage, I check my recording, it's like a half hour and it's
Love
like
that,
dude. Then I had no idea, like I didn't prepare like a half hour set list, so I just go up and you're just kind of like grasping at straw. And it's been situations where I'd had to do that and the crowd sucked. Where it's like I'm like dripping sweat. I'm like, get me the fuck off this stage. You know what I mean? And it's like,
so you think like 30 minutes or so, 35 minutes?
I've done a half hour a couple of times. I think I could stretch. I mean, I was on stage the other day. I did like 20, and I was like, I have like a bunch of I have like a whole set list I didn't get through. So I think I could hold it down for a minute.
Do you ever see on Amazon Prime 25 Sets with Aaron Berg?
No, but I heard about it.
That's crazy. So I watched it
insane.
I watched it for the first time like a week ago, and I haven't told Aaron yet that I watched it. But Aaron Berg, by the way, very well-known New York City comedian, worldly comic. He has this special called 25 Sets. I don't know if it's a special really, but it's a special for Amazon Prime. He does 25 sets in one night in New York City, and the reason I mention it right now is because the last spot that he did was at like 3 a.m. at LOL on a Saturday night. So no comedy clubs are open till 3 a.m., but I can imagine they probably stretch out the show.
Oh, dude,
stuff like that.
Yeah. Dude, they'll definitely they'll add shows, so you'll be there. Like I remember getting past there was like the stage time that I was getting was like meteoric, just how like different it was. Like, you know, I was going from like shittier bar shows to like, I was actually getting club spots, and it's like, you know, it's not the best club by any stretch, but like getting past there as a young comic, you do like
time is time,
grow. Bro. Like I'll never, you know, I'm in no position to be like I'm too good to do that. You know what I mean? It's like you got to really just take any like shows you can. I'll see seller comics like I remember John Marco. He's
he was on his couch talking about how he still loves LOL. He goes up there, looks at his notes, and just has no problem just running through 2 shows there last stuff.
Yeah. He was closing out the show that I was on last night. And he's there constantly, you know. And even during the pandemic, he was at that same mic where like he wasn't at the one where Louis pulled up, but he would come to that Washington Square Park mic. And he's like, you know, way beyond having to do open mics.
Do you have anything that you're looking forward to at the end of the summer, maybe early this fall, besides the Ted Jones Comedy Show, which we will get Adam on in September? I'm excited for that. Hold on for the dates, all right?
I'm like what you were saying about running longer sets. I kind of want to get out of the city, try to start doing like more road shit. So this fall, me and another like Muslim comic, we're probably gonna start trying to like cold call different like colleges, like, and trying to like call up their like Muslim organizations and see if we can like do some like road shit there. Because I had a college in Philly reach out to me like through their Muslim organization to see if I could like to come do a show. And it was dope. Like they gave me like time. I met some like Chicago comics, and I was like, oh, this is like a way to like, you know, I'm like, I didn't even have to like do anything to get booked on this. So it's like, if I just, you know, took some initiative, it's like, I'm sure I could get you know, the ball rolling on like some spots, maybe like get out of the city. Cause you really do have to like, this is like the gym, but you get out of the city to like kind of, you know, spread your wings a little bit. You know what I mean?
And
sounds mad corny.
Yeah. Well, but when any person refers to New York City, I think that they do call it like what comedians. I mean, comedians from Chicago, LA, Texas, Florida, whatever, they all refer to New York City as like being the Mecca. Yeah. So while we do feel like we're in the gym here, people come here and they're like, oh, this is the place, I've made it. Because people come for a week and they have 7 shows or whatever. Have you been out to LA?
No, I haven't been out to LA yet.
You have plans for that or desire to go out there?
Yeah, definitely in the future. I don't know anytime soon, but like, yeah, I would, you know, want to go out there. You know, I have no incentive right now. It's not like, you know, I mean, but it's like my friend Ryan, like my old roommate, he was going out there like every other month, and he was telling me, he was like, the scene is good, like, you know, he's like, it's not like New York, but it's like you can get up on like a decent amount of shows, and he's like, it just makes sense to be there too, because it is like it's one of the 2 biggest scenes in the country.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, New York's the place where if you just want to get on as many times as a night and stage time in general, what's the most amount of sets you've done in a night? 26?
No, hell no. Dude, I don't know how the fuck he pulled that off.
Bro, you got to watch it. It's actually pretty good. You guys also
insane,
listening and watching, you guys should watch it.
What time did he start?
It was intriguing. Like 4:15 p.m. at Creek in the Cave Christ, in Long Island City, which isn't around anymore. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was 4:15 p.m. It was like the 4 p.m. show.
Sets.
So you went from, he did like 12 hours, like maybe like 11 and a half hours. He did 25 sets.
I would have been out for like a week after that.
I mean, just think about how much talking you have to do and like remembering if you told that joke at this particular set or if it was 2 sets ago, something like that. So he had a driver and was going to all these different sets.
Oh, he had a driver?
Cool. Yeah.
Unless he was taking the train.
There you go. Yeah, dude, if he was taking the train. Sorry, guys, we're going to have to buzz that guy in. But anyway, what were you saying?
All right. Is there another guest? Am I getting ambushed right now? I don't know. What's
I didn't tell you that. We have a hot chick going.
Oh shit! Just some girl with big titties walks in. Oh, all right. What's good, y'all? This is a single podcast now. This kind of like a commercial break right now. Is that the food?
My groceries.
Oh! I thought that was like one meal. I was like, damn, dude.
Bro, I'm fucking hungry.
I was like, damn, tennis players, fucking.
Yeah, dude. Shit. I used to eat freaking so much when I was doing sports like that. Did you play sports in high school?
I was a swimmer.
Oh, you're a swimmer. Sarah golf. Harvard was on the couch last episode. She's a swimmer. You know Sarah?
Sarah Harvard's a swimmer?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
She was a swimmer at James Madison University. That's the beautiful thing, man. I get to know people so well. Like you and I didn't really know each other before this podcast. Now we know so much about each other. Yeah. Were you maybe
Yours is way more impressive, though. Professional tennis at UConn.
It's not professional, though. Yeah. It's just professional children's school when I thought I was going to go.
Oh, word. But still to play college tennis.
Yeah, man. It was cool. Did you think about going to play college sports or swim in college?
No, I wasn't good enough to swim. I didn't even like a college team. But no, it was good. Like, I mean, it's probably one of the best exercises. Like, I work as a lifeguard right now, so it's like getting in the pool.
Oh,
like,
love that, man. Yeah. So my buddy actually works for this developer who has like 20 pools in the city.
Yeah.
And he is in the middle of hiring lifeguards. Oh, and right now he's like monitoring drug tests, and he smokes so much freaking weed. And he's like, why am I drug testing these freaking kids? But I would say, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, I think that would probably be the one job where maybe you shouldn't be high during the job.
I was high constantly. I don't think I had one sober shift. I was high my last shift at work, dude. Like, what?
You didn't get drug tested?
No, dude. Hell no. I've never heard of that in my life.
You. What, getting drug tested?
No, I remember the lifeguards would smoke and come back. I remember the beach guards would get fucked up. They'd get like blackout and like just go out and guard.
Wait, where is this at? Like a Bay Ridge Country Club or something?
No, it's a JCC in Park Slope. In Park Slope, Brooklyn.
Oh, there probably aren't that many Jews in the pool anyways.
No, I mean, I actually wrote a bit about it. I'm like, because I'm Muslim, so every time I see somebody's drowning, I'm like, say free Palestine or I won't save you.
Oh my God, dude.
I told one of my coworkers that bit, and he was like, Jesus Christ.
That's maybe, I don't want to say a deeper bit, but like, I don't know if the average person in the middle of the country would understand that. They don't understand that the freaking line between Israel and Palestine is blurred, and people have an issue with that.
Yeah. It's also like, I'm not actually letting nobody drown. I don't want to give that impression. You know what I mean? But the reason I don't think is I mean, at least in the city, because I lifeguarded all through high school, and like, you know, you're working like a lot of the times it's like pools and like luxury buildings, and like the pools are like 3 feet. They're like big bathtubs. Like that's really like if you drown, it's your fault. Like you deserve to die.
And you also really probably in those luxury buildings have like guys who are 40, 50, 60 swimming laps. They'll do their 10 laps. Exactly. And then they don't really have kids there so much, kiddie pool stuff.
And then even if they do, they're coming in with their parents. So it was always a super chill job, you know?
So, but do you see more of like the older crowd, or do you ever have to watch over kids?
Oh, at the JCC, it's usually all kids because it's like, it's all kids. Because it's like they're usually coming in for like private swim lessons and shit. But even then, it's like because there's like 7 swim instructors in the pool. They're all lifeguard certified. So it's just like I'm there because it's the law. You know
How do you get lifeguard certified? Test.
You get it once. Like you really only need to get it once, and then you get like recertified like every like 2 years. But the recertification is like super easy.
Is it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, if you're really like strapped for cash, I recommend any comedian do it. Like if you can swim, I'll tell any comic become a lifeguard. There's like a shortage in the city right now. I was talking to some comic the other day. He told me lifeguards in LA, like some of them are making like $500K a year lifeguarding. Because there's a shortage, and like, I mean, they're like the ones who've been like. What the shit are they doing? I have no fucking idea. I was shocked. I don't even understand.
Probably at the most luxurious private swim clubs. I don't even know. That's crazy.
Yeah, it does not even make sense.
I was doing corporate stuff for years, and then was able to save up a good amount of money, and then now, man, I'm just doing this, bro.
That's smart.
Freaking living the dream.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro. I felt like at some point I needed to begin to plan my escape, and that happened like 2.5, 3 years before I quit working at my dad's company.
Dude, you could really get so complacent when you have something like cushiony. You know what I mean? It's
I love that you say that, man. I love that you say that.
Absolutely.
So I had like a little article done on me from the East Hampton Star, which is a paper in Long Island, and it talks about how like I literally had this thing on a platter given to me, and I was like, I am just not happy doing this.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like the guts it takes to walk away from something like comfortable. It's like, you know, it means you really like you're passionate about the shit you want to do. It's like, because even it can happen in comedy. It's like, you know, comics will like get complacent when they reach a certain, you know, it's like when you work cruises, it's like you can make a lot of money. And then it's like when you see the money that you're making, you're like, I'll just stick to cruises.
You know any comics who work cruises?
Yeah, I know a couple. Like, I think it's like short term, it's smart because you can make a lot of cash.
What are the kind of money that they were doing? They were doing like those enormous 5,000 person cruises or something like that.
Yeah. It's like
Carnival cruise.
Carnival. It's I mean, I'm not too like well versed on it, but it's like it's like I think Carnival, Norwegian.
And you'll go from Miami to the Bahamas and back. So you're doing like 6 days of show, something like that.
Yeah. But you make like, I think it's like $3K or something that week. It's like 3 to 4 or 5. I don't know. But I know one comic, he was gone for like almost the whole month, came back with like 10K just off the crew. And he was gone from like making like 25 to 50 a spot at like a comedy club, you know, versus
I don't want to say that sounds like a dead end, but like you can, you can get complacent in doing that.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, because comedy, it's like it's so oversaturated, especially in like a scene like New York. So when you're finally at a point where you're like making some cash and you're doing stand up, making that cash, you're like, all right, I guess this is as good as it gets. You know, you could easily fall into that trap. That's why I wouldn't want to start doing it. Like, I don't think I would become complacent and like be like, all right, this is it. But it's like, you know, I've also never made that much money. You know what I mean? Like,
it's enticing, to be like, all right, go on this ship for a week and you'll make way more money than you've made in the past week or something like that.
But every comic I talk to who has done it is like, he's like, I hate it. They're like, I hate it because it's like you're like on a cruise ship for like weeks at a time, and it's like you don't really like, you're not really allowed to like interact with like the people on the cruises. Like, there's apparently like if you sleep with somebody on the cruise, like you get kicked out. Like that's like one of the stipulations.
So you just have to be a freaking lone wolf in your little bedroom on the cruise. I've never been on a cruise. I potentially want to go on one, maybe, but like not one of those enormous fucking boats. And I'd rather just go on a yacht vacation. Okay, we'll rent out the boat for $1 million, like Drake, something like that, and then just go that way. That's way easier.
I'll just get a yacht instead. The easier alternative. You know what I mean?
So besides Northern Africa, you been to Europe? That's not in Europe.
No, never been to Europe.
You know what I meant, though.
Yeah. No, Africa and Europe, same place. You know,
kind of. It's close enough to each other, bro. I mean, to be freaking racist, but it's relatively really close to each other. So, Adam, before we freaking get out here, man, are you gonna let us know anything exciting that's coming up? Maybe not on the comedy front or on the comedy front.
I mean, I am trying to diversify what I do. I mean, in terms of like, I mean, stand up has been like my main focus, and I think it will continue to be that. But I've been trying to get more into like the writing like aspect, because I feel like, you know, comics like you can't just have one thing, because there is so many facets to this. So I'm not too much of like a podcast guy. Like I don't like
you are, man, killing it, dude.
I love doing podcasts.
Very comfortable.
I know I love doing podcasts, but I don't see myself having one. Because it's like, I don't really ever go out of my way to like listen to them. But I appreciate them, like, you know, but I feel like I'm more like naturally a writer. So I've been like working on like a screenplay and some sketches with 2 other comics. And we're hopefully going to start releasing them like in the next couple months. Like, so we have a bunch written right now. We're just trying to like really hone and like tighten them up. And then we're going to start trying to put them out. Like we got like a videographer lined up. So that's really what I'm excited about right now. It's like that's what's coming up, and probably like make a YouTube page for him. Put those out. I don't know, Leo C and Rob Christensen.
Okay, dope.
Comics, yeah,
dope, man.
Yeah.
Cool, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Me, this was mad fun.
Adam, we're popping up your Instagram right here, so shout it out.
Absolutely, it's Adam H Comedy. All right, that's I post clips. You can watch, you know, and follow along. I post shows, all that good shit. Thank you again for having me, buddy.
Of course, bro.
It was mad fun.
Adam Hmada.
Yeah, you got it.
Amazing. Perfect. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.